Welcome to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. I'm Jane Jansen with Peter Morrell and Dr. Wim Jansen, and we strive every week to bring you the very best in medicine and how to stay healthy and well and keep you informed. And so we are very excited to have Dr. Michael Murray, who is one of the world's leading authorities on natural medicine. He has published over 30 books featuring natural approaches to health, which is he sold over 5 million copies and is currently the Chief Science Officer of Enzymedica. Dr. Murray has dedicated his life to educating physicians, patients, and the general public on the tremendous healing power of nature, and has appeared on hundreds of radio and TV programs and lectured to hundreds of thousands of people nationwide. And for the past 35 years, Dr. Murray has been compiling a massive database of original scientific studies from the medical literature. He has personally collected over 65,000 articles from the scientific literature, which provides strong evidence on the effectiveness of diet, vitamins, minerals, herbs, and other natural measures in the maintenance of health and treatment disease. He is an awesome guy.
Let's just cut it and say, okay, he's a really smart guy.
He's super, Dr. Murray. Welcome back to Holistic Healthline, Dr. Murray.
It's my pleasure. It's always fun.
Dr. Murray, you are a leading authority in the natural health field, and you've worked with some of the bigger and better companies in the natural health field. Why Enzymedica? I'm sure there's a lot of companies out there that would love to have you on board. You chose Enzymedica. Why?
Well, the CEO of Enzymedica, Scott Sensenbrenner, and I have been friends for, over 25 years, and we worked together, over 20 years ago with enzymatic therapy. And then when that company was sold, we both went elsewhere, and we always talked about kind of reuniting, and we have some big goals, and we really want to make a difference in people's lives. And all health begins in the gut, and Enzymedica is North America's number one leading digestive health company, and we're going to be expanding that and getting into some other areas as well. But all health begins in the gut. Hippocrates said that over 2,500 years ago, and it's still valid today, maybe even more so.
It seems like today that so many people are seeing their doctors specifically for digestive issues. And being put on the acid inhibitors, the proton pump inhibitors, and having some significant, even surgical treatments done. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these things could be avoided.
Oh, absolutely. It's really, it's beyond irrational. It's almost insane the way conventional medicine treats certain health conditions, and that's particularly true when we're looking at digestive disturbances. Over 100 million Americans suffer from what are called functional gastrointestinal disorders. That's where there's no real disease state, but they're just not digesting their food properly, and that's noted by experiencing gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, occasional constipation or diarrhea. These are really common issues. They affect over 100 million Americans. And instead of reaching for over-the-counter or prescription medicines that actually impair the digestive process, they really should be looking to nature and looking to ways in which they can enhance their ability to break down and digest food properly. And at the top of that list is using high-potency digestive enzyme formula. And Enzymedica, they sell more digestive enzymes than pretty much all the other companies in North America combined. And their lead product, Digest Gold, is by far the most popular digestive enzyme sold in the United States.
Now, enzymes, I think a lot of the listening audience, they hear the word enzymes, they know it's like good for their gut, but I don't think they really kind of understand what is an enzyme. I know a lot of people coming into our office, they think a probiotic and an enzyme are the same thing. Can you just explain a little bit what what enzymes are.
Yeah, enzymes are live molecules, and there are two basic types of enzymes: enzymes that build other molecules and enzymes that break down molecules. When we're talking about digestive enzymes, these are enzymes that break down food, and our body secretes enzymes. We have enzymes in our saliva and our stomach. Our pancreas dumps enzymes into our small intestine. We have enzymes that reside on the surface of our small intestine. So we have enzymes that break down food throughout our body, and sometimes these enzymes just need a little support, and that's where extra digestive enzymes in terms of supplements can really be helpful. In the past, digestive enzymes were primarily derived from hog pancreas, but there's been a revolution in enzyme therapy, and it's really led by plant and microbial sources of these digestive enzymes. And these are much more powerful than even our own body's enzymes, and they have a broader range of pH. What makes Digest Gold so special is that it mixes variants, types of enzymes within each class, so that you have full activity throughout the entire pH range. That's important because our stomach is very acid, and our small intestine is more alkaline, and our colon is more neutral. So if you're not able to have enzymes active throughout the entire range of the intestinal tract, you may be causing some problems. And most people, when they have digestive issues, gas, bloating, indigestion, these are most often not so much caused by the foods they're eating. They may have some food intolerances, and enzymes can help with that, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But most often the issue is that they're not breaking down their food properly. When food is not broken down properly, bacteria and yeast get into it, and they start breaking it down and producing gas and sometimes some rather toxic compounds that can really be irritating to the lining of the intestinal tract. So what we know, based upon a large body of experience and scientific literature, is that many people with digestive disorders are suffering from enzyme insufficiency. And when they utilize these digestive enzymes, it can be life-changing, and that's really how Digest Gold became so popular. People started utilizing it, and it started changing their lives, and just through word of mouth, it just has grown and blossomed into the best-selling enzyme product in North America.
And it seems that a lot of people are obviously don't have the healthiest diets. But even when they start trying to eat healthier foods, like eating more vegetables and salads and things like that, they're having trouble digesting. And again, what they often go to is the acid inhibitors, was actually the wrong way to go. We got to take a quick break, Dr. Murray.
Sure.
But when we get back, if we could talk a little bit more about that, and again, as you talked about food sensitivities or allergies, we'd love to talk about that. So we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. We'll be back in a moment with Dr. Michael Murray.
Now back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health.
And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. Our guest is Dr. Michael Murray, one of the world's leading authorities on natural medicine, has published over 30 books, and is the Chief Science Officer of Enzymedica. And we're talking about enzymes and digestive tracts and how to get them functioning well. And Dr. Murray, again, a lot of people are trying to get healthier, but their stomachs just aren't cooperating.
When people make healthier food choices, sometimes initially it can lead to a little change in digestive function, and they can really benefit from a lot of natural digestive aids. And as I said earlier, I think digestive enzymes really have to be at the top of the list. Probiotics are getting a lot of the the press right now, and people are taking them, and a lot of times they're having certain expectations, and these expectations aren't being met. Probiotics don't digest food, so they're of limited benefit in improving digestive complaints like gas, bloating, and indigestion. Probiotics are great for overall health and health of the microbiome, the intestinal flora, but they don't digest food, and sometimes taking probiotics can actually make matters a little worse. So if the issue is they're not breaking down food, a person's not breaking down food, then we've got to help them. And I use a couple of real simple indications as to which supplement to use. We're focusing on enzymes, as we should, but if someone eats a meal and within 30 minutes they're very uncomfortable, that's often a sign of lack of hydrochloric acid, and those people usually do best by taking a pepsin and HCl supplement. Pepsin is a digestive enzyme. In our product, we use a fungal source, a vegetarian source of pepsin. A lot of other companies use animal-derived pepsin, and people are trying to get away from that. And as I said earlier, these microbial sources of enzymes, they're more powerful, and they work better than the animal enzymes, so we should be using them anyway. If the indigestion, gas, bloating occurs more than 30 minutes, more than 45 minutes after eating a meal, then that generally means lack of pancreatic enzymes, and those people really do well with a product like Digest Gold. And we touched on food intolerances a bit. Sometimes it's specific foods because people need specific enzyme support. Probably the best known example of that is when a person is sensitive to lactose. Lactose is milk sugar, and the enzyme to break down lactose is lactase, and it resides on the lining of the small intestine, and sometimes people don't have that enzyme, so they are lactose intolerant. And we know that in those people, we can have them take lactase as a dietary supplement, and many of them will be able to tolerate milk. Now, I say many and not all because sometimes people are not only intolerant to the lactose, but they're intolerant to the milk proteins, and so they need some additional support. So that's why in our formulas that contain lactose, like lacto, we include the digestive enzymes that can help break down the milk proteins. So that's really important. Lactase alone is only going to be effective in about 30% of people that have lactose intolerance. They need the other enzymes as well. So that's the key thing. The gluten sensitivity is something that people are very concerned about these days. And I just reviewed a study that showed in people with celiac disease, these are people that are very sensitive to gluten, they found that they did a detailed analysis by looking at the amount of gluten in the urine and stool in these people following a gluten-free diet, and they found that the average intake of gluten in these folks was about 150 to 400 milligrams. Now, in these people, as little as 10 milligrams of gluten can cause significant symptoms. So they're getting 10 to 40 times the amount that could cause them problems. So the researchers really suggested that these are people with extreme gluten sensitivity, they really need to be on gluten digesting enzymes. And gluten digesting enzymes have been shown to be very helpful in people that are following a gluten-free diet but maybe ingesting hidden sources of gluten. And what this new study showed quite convincingly is that this is a big issue. Even people that are on a strict gluten-free diet are getting the hidden sources of gluten. And gluten, if a food product says gluten-free, they can be assured that it is gluten-free, because there's big penalties for food companies if they make that claim and their products found to contain gluten. The product from Enzymedica for gluten sensitivity and intolerance is Gluten Ease. Gluten Ease are products for milk and dairy, dairy assist, and lacto. And as I said, these products contain not only the lactase enzymes, but also some proteases that can help break down the proteins. We have some other products for food intolerances. Sometimes people have issues with legumes, and those folks, Bean Assist. This is a fantastic formula to help people digest legumes better. And then we have VeggieGest as well. And then we have a product that kind of mixes all these and specialty enzymes for food intolerances called Digest Spectrum. And this is a great formula for anyone with food intolerances, but in particular with kids. And in particular, kids on the autism spectrum have been shown to have significant issues with food intolerances. And this can really help improve their digestion and, as a result, possibly improve their brain function as well.
Do you think people in general are having more food sensitivities than years in the past, or are we just paying more attention to it now? It seems like everybody's dealing with some kind of food sensitivity now.
Yeah, I think there are several reasons for that. My own personal thought is that many of the pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, and many of the environmental pollutants are anti-enzymes. They basically block enzymes. And so I think that the ever-increasing polluted world that we live in is making it difficult for us to break down our food properly. And that's why that's my own personal thought as to why we're seeing these food intolerances. Just, you're right, they're much more prevalent now than they were 20 or 30 years ago, and I think it's just the quality of our food supply, and these compounds are hard for us to get rid of. They're referred to as persistent organic pollutants, and basically, when we get these compounds in our body, they just kind of wreak havoc. And one of the things that they do is, I think, they block the proper action of these digestive enzymes. So people, even if they're secreting enough enzymes, they may not be in active form. We have to override those inhibitors and provide these enzymes. And like I said, it can be life-changing. I mean, it's amazing how many people kind of suffer along. Because what we hear from a lot of first-time users of digestive enzymes, they're like, "Geez, I just thought this was normal. I didn't realize I was, that because they would eat and they'd be uncomfortable, they'd have gas, bloating, and they just think, oh, that's just the way it is. That's what happens when you eat." And then they do a 14-day challenge or so with Digest Gold. 14-day challenge is simple. Just try Digest Gold with every meal. Take it just before meals. Do that for 14 days and see if it's the right supplement for you. And most people fall in love with it because, like I said, 100 million Americans. That's 1 out of 3 adults have digestive issues, and sometimes it's simple as to eliminate those, has given your body a very valuable tool to allow it to digest the food properly.
Dr. Murray, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, can you talk a little bit about acid reflux? And I know Enzymedica has, in particular, one enzyme formula that is absolutely fantastic for acid reflux. But, acid reflux and also relationship to constipation. It seems like if the digestive tract, the stomach, isn't functioning well, people go one or two ways or both ways. They get constipation as well as acid reflux. So when we get back, I want to talk to you a little bit about that. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health, and our special guest, Dr. Michael Murray. Back in a moment.
Now back to Holistic Healthline.
Welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And we're speaking with Dr. Michael Murray, who has his fingers on all the latest research, the cutting edge of scientific reviews. So he is the guy that we go to when we want to know more stuff. And in particular, we're talking about enzymes today. And I just want to quickly mention to our listeners that you can get a 20% discount on orders placed with Enzymedica if you go to Enzymedica.com. Again, Enzymedica.com. I will spell it for you a little bit later. Peter will kill me, but I'll do it anyways. And all you have to do is put in the coupon code HOLISTIC, and you'll get a 20% discount. Or if you don't have a computer or you're computer shy, you can call 1-888-918-1118. And you'll talk with somebody at Enzymedica customer care. And again, give the promo code HOLISTIC to get your 20% discount. Got to call Monday through Friday between 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to repeat that information.
But online, you can go anytime you want.
Yes, I'm going to repeat that information, so I know he said it really fast. Dr. Murray, a lot of people, again, are taking these acid inhibitors, and I read a study not too long ago, even that the long-term use of some of these acid inhibitors, proton pump inhibitors, can cause stomach cancer. This is a concern.
Yeah, the list of possible issues caused by these proton pump inhibitors, which are drugs like Nexium and Prilosec, it's amazing. I mean, here's one that most people don't realize. They've done very large studies now looking at the long-term effects of these drugs. And basically, when people start taking these drugs, it shortens their life expectancy. It increases their risk by significant amounts for not only esophageal cancer, but other forms of cancer, heart disease, strokes. These drugs block the digestive process, so you create all sorts of altered function in the GI tract and alterations in our gut flora. You get nutrient insufficiencies. You get, you get an increased risk for not only gastrointestinal infections, but pneumonia. These drugs are linked to Alzheimer's disease. These are bad news, and there are safe and effective natural approaches. I mentioned hydrochloric acid earlier. Many people that have symptoms of heartburn and indigestion, particularly immediately after eating a meal, they're not secreting enough hydrochloric acid. They can take an acid-blocking drug and block their symptoms, but they're not addressing the root cause. And the best medicine is always one that is addressing the underlying issue in a way that supports health and supports body function. And that's what we try to do in our product line. And in this area of heartburn in particular, sometimes it's a situation where you have to utilize more acid to help digestion, and then if people are maybe secreting too much acid and need some additional support, we have a product called Acid Soothe that's really designed to restore the lining of the stomach and the esophagus, and also kind of help buffer some of the over acidity.
We've used it a lot in our practice, and even with family members who have said, "Oh my God, this stuff is amazing! This Acid Soothe is, keep it coming," because it definitely has helped them within a very short period of time. It's not something that, sometimes you got to take supplements for, a few weeks or whatever to see a noticeable difference. But with the Acid Soothe, again, they have noticeable improvement within a few days, even sometimes just after the first dose.
Yeah, That's always awesome. And it's not amazing to us, but it seems to be amazing to other people. I think they probably hear that sometimes natural approaches take a little time, and that's true. I mean, if you've been abusing yourself or you haven't been supporting your body properly, sometimes it takes a while to make a difference. But in regards to some of these digestive issues, sometimes the effects are life-changing and they're immediate.
And we've seen with some patients that as they get older, their digestive tracts don't seem to function quite as well, but they're taking a lot of different prescription medications, and then the doctors keep upping the dose of the medications, but can that be in part because they're not digesting even the medications well? It's
really complex. In addition, we're learning that many drugs adversely impact what's referred to as the microbiome, which is the collection of microbes in our intestinal tract. And we're learning more and more how important these bacteria and yeast are to overall health. And if we're altering them in a negative way, we're creating more harm than good. And in the future, I think the impact of a drug on the microbiome is going to be much more of a factor. Right now, we know that in particular these acid blocking drugs are really, really harmful. As are synthetic artificial sweeteners. They're not so good on the gut flora either.
You mentioned earlier doing a 14-day challenge with the Digest Gold. Can pretty much anybody use that Digest Gold?
Yeah, they are really safe. These enzymes. If you look at all the studies with them, very rarely do you see any sort of issue. Sometimes with the proteases, they can be irritative to some people, but that's very rare. Digest Gold is the most powerful formula. We also have Digest and Digest Basic, which are less potent forms. So for kids and small adults or adolescents, they may be able to use Digest or Digest Basic, which are less potent than Digest Gold. But in general, adults do really well with Digest Gold.
And for those people who can't swallow pills, they also have a lot of chewable formulas, which is awesome.
Yep. Yeah. The chewable formulas are great, and they're safe, and they don't digest your teeth or anything like that. They get into the GI system and break down food. That's what we want. We want these enzymes working to help break down our food so we can gain the nutritional benefit without the discomfort.
And again, I just want to quickly mention, if you want to take the Digest Gold Challenge, if you want to get the Acid Soothe and finally actually get rid of your acid reflux, or even help you to try and wean down off of your acid inhibitors, or any of the other great products from Enzymedica, you can get 20% off on your orders if you place it with Enzymedica at enzymedica.com. Put in the coupon code HOLISTIC, and again, you'll get 20% off, or you can also call 1-888-918-1118, and Enzymedica customer care will help you. Give them the coupon code HOLISTIC, and you'll get your 20% off. Just remember to call Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peter's mic all of a sudden is not functioning well.
I wanted to say, anybody out there listening, if you have not taken an enzyme in the past, you should take advantage of this and do it now. Get the Digest Gold and try it. because you will be amazed.
Dr. Murray, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Any final words for our listening audience?
I just want to say thank you. This show has been going on for, I think, probably, 30 years or so. It's been a long time, and
Yes.
it's just fantastic to it's always fresh and new, and you all do a great job.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and hopefully you get to hook up with Peter at the
See you at the expo.
At the expo.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's coming up.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Murray. Have a wonderful
All right.
weekend.
All right, thank you. Bye.
And we're going to take a quick break. And again, I'm going to give that information out again, and I will spell out Enzymedica for you, even though Peter's glaring at me.
I can't give you a hard time because my mic is frying out on me here.
We're going to take a quick break. But if you got a question, give us a call, 1-866-920-9455. Less than 15 minutes left of Holistic Healthline. Back in a moment.